Friday buy day looks like it has been temporarily subdued here by this news. Oh. Okay, cool. I haven't done anything on the overnight. I was just watching here. Uh, didn't want to start the day off getting into some NFP nonsense. We'll go over the NFP stuff. Yesterday was what was it yesterday? Yesterday was a Thursday. Thursday morning of ex or former president Jimmy Carter, I should say. So markets were closed. The futures market did not open at all. Like 9:30 hit, boom, everything stopped moving. It was open on the ETH session. It had some moves. It was holding within the balance that we were looking at the past few days here, but with non-farm payrolls, we finally escaped. Non-farm payrolls were the figures here. The actual came out at 256,000. The forecast was 165,000. The previous was 225,000. So they were expecting a pretty steep drop from the prior. But we had a massive increase here. I guess good news is seems to be bad news currently as things stand. We saw that the U.S. average earnings year over year, the actual came down to 3.9% versus 4% forecast. And then the unemployment rate was forecast at 4.2% in the States, and it came out at 4.1%. So a beat on, I guess, two fronts. The main headline figure beat pretty aggressively compared to the forecast. Markets dropped pretty significantly through the auction lows, that balance low that had been created over the last few days. Well, I guess it hasn't necessarily been created over the last few days, but we were trading within it, solidifying it, if you will. So interesting. The prior revised at 212,000. So that revision was lower than what we saw before. So that could have attributed to a little more of this downside momentum. But right now we have escaped through those intermediate lows that we had seen over the last few days here. Now, maybe I should move this a little. Just give me a second here before we talk about this. There's been a lot of news and like images that have been coming out of LA with those massive wildfires. That's just crazy. I hope everyone's okay in those areas. I know that it's been a pretty tough time, and these images are crazy. There's videos too. The death toll had climbed to 10 people, while many communities still remain under red flag warnings amid concerns over air quality. The most damaging fires in Eaton and Palisades have destroyed over 10,000 structures in scenes that have been described as apocalyptic and reduced entire neighborhoods to ash, which is, I don't know, these images are insane. The economy estimates the economic estimates for the damages and costs continue to climb with the latest numbers from AccuWeather forecasting service pegging total damages at 135 to 150 billion dollars. Now, at those levels, the wildfire disasters could reach nearly 4% of the annual GDP of the state of California, and there's no doubt that further shake up the insurance and reinsurance industry, which has already been raising the cost of coverage for dangerous areas and dropping or refusing to issue new policies. So insane, right? There are significant double-digit increases in homeowners insurance are on tap in the coming years, which is likely to weigh on property values or even across state lines. New rules in California also require issuers to underwrite a minimum percentage of policies in high-risk areas based on their market share, but that threatens to raise premiums. Funding for firefighters' emergency resources will need to be shored up as well, including the monitoring of utilities and prevention, putting additional strain on state and federal budgets. So, according to JP Morgan, the publicly traded insurers most exposed to California include Allstate, Chubb, and Travelers. So, if you want to take a look at those ticker symbols, are ALLCB and TRV, respectively. So overall, we had Fed meeting minutes on Wednesday. That was the last trading day since today, I guess. And the markets have taken a pretty deep dunk here as things stand, as you'll see, right? So let's take a look at what's going on here on these equities on the equity front, and then we'll have a capital preservation Friday ahead of us. Now, last, or I guess even like, well, yeah, like at the beginning of this week, last week, slash even right at current standpoints, I had expectations here on the SPOOs and on the Nasdaq to see the potential of higher lows, right? On a grand scheme of things, to see us pump up into January. January so far has been trying. Volatility has come out in decent droves overall. And right now we've escaped a major balance here. This is the S&P 500. This is the individual session profile. So we've escaped us out of the balance. This is the pre-market, the RTH session. We still have some time until the market opens. Not much, but like 20 odd minutes where we can see the acceptance back above this. Right now, things are obviously more on the bear side. Now, we have a situation with a double day area, which again, right, minor area with heaviness of volume on the overnight, where I could see the potential of some buy side trying to come through. I'm not looking at this and thinking, oh, okay, how can I buy this dip the best? I think that realistically, what we got going on is downside structure has continued. The first move on the day is most likely going to be to the upside with profit taking and some stop taking and whatnot. After this significant move here pre-market based on news, the news move can continue pretty easily, but realistically above 20 and 25 on the SPOOs, I got to be more bullish, right? I'm not saying that I'm very bullish right now, but I just got to be more bullish because you start accepting back into this auction where we can start playing with this thing again. But right now, rallies into 2025 most likely get re-offered. I think anything under 75.80 on the SPOOs, 58.75, 58.80 takes like a big slip. Like we could see 50 to 80 point move under that area pretty aggressively. So I have this area is pivotal. The 59.05 is very pivotal for the buy side to try and hold this heaviness of volume out to see if we can plunge back up. But realistically, the first level we're probably going to trade into going into the open, we're not very far away from it, is going to be 20 to 25. So we'll see how that kind of reacts. But right now, there is a lean to the bear side. I just have to be malleable and cautious because you start accepting into this massive balance, then you start opening things up for that potential larger reversal move, right? We have to see how things kind of hold out on both sides rather than just being one dimensional on this. And again, right, this is especially echoed after a holiday, right? You know, like I get it, right? Mourning a former president, totally understand, but like all these bank holidays and market closures that we've seen, we haven't seen a full week in January yet. Could have at least done it on Friday, right? Today could have been like, okay, just shut it down. Why on Thursday? The market reopens today. I don't know. I guess there wasn't really that much news on Thursday to begin with, but anyways, coming in after I might have should move this down a little. Come on. Coming in after a market closure, right? Going the like not in the middle of the week, but towards the end of the week. You got to just play more cautiously. I understand that we've moved outside of these auctions, right? Fair, it is bearish. I've been bearish the last few days, realistically, but I don't know. It just cuts things up weirdly. Anyways, Nasdaq. Similar, Nasdaq has been failing at the 430. This has been a very sexy level for us. We've been talking about that for the last few days here. And you got this like pretty big auction over here. You got the 430-ish, 420 start of that. Yeah, it's like minor area over here. I don't really care too much about it. What I care about is 300 and 320. If we start bidding back above that, I think that there is a lot more buy pressure and above around this like 210 to like 230. I've got that's kind of what opens up some potential acceptance to the upside swing. But I still think under like 300, 320, some of that sell side can still persist. So I'm watching these two areas mainly because they're most immediate, right? So not really too much to say about this. After a day off yesterday, going into this, news came out pre-market. It becomes one of those days where I got to really, really sit out for the first bit and take note of what's going on before getting too active. So let's take a look here. What time is it? 13. Boxian will do oil, and then we will. I don't even know what we're gonna do after. Wait, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat, and then we'll see how this market shapes up. Remember, Capital Preservation Friday. So
Morning, Victoria.
Morning, Buxy. Hold on, let me see here. Let me change my speaker audio because I can barely hear you. 1 second. I think it should be good now.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Can you
perfect.
hear me
Yes,
now?
sir. Okay, you can go ahead.
All righty. Well, good morning, Victoria. Good morning, TRADEPRO Academy. Oil market is up significantly today. We opened over $3 higher than we opened yesterday. Yesterday was technically an up session, and the Globex came in on its VWAP and just, excuse me, took off really. Until about 8:45, we put in a 77.07 Globex high, and since then we've just kind of been sideways. The market's just kind of taking a breather. So the trends are green, the price action is below, so we don't have to watch this market and see if we're going to go sideways or not. The range is not impressive. It's like a 12-cent range, and that's not really a moneymaker for us. So we'll have to watch it, see if the Bulls pick it back up. We get back up above that 77.07. We may be able to catch a wave and run it higher. Otherwise, we'll have to just monitor it, maybe do some fades. We could see the VWAP. So we'll watch it and trade it. Let you know what's up. Victorio, back to you.
Cool. Let's see here. Where's the screen? I was looking at some big tech over here, like Nvidia's getting blasted yet again. A lot of this sell-off is tech driven. It seems that general consensus is most traders and market participants are looking at this as like the start of a larger pullback. I don't know. I don't fully believe that. I think that this news uh, can throw a wrench in the gears for the buy side for sure, but realistically, I think it's like healthy start to the year, get a little pullback. We'll see how deep they want to drag it down. But we are at fragile points. Like you look at pretty much any tech across the board. Nvidia, big slip up after the what the hell is it? The event, the CES event where Jensen Huang talked. It seemed pretty good, honestly. I liked it. Like, I still like Nvidia this year. I'd like it at better prices, right? Obviously, but it seemed that investors weren't super impressed with the expected innovation in Nvidia, and also we talked about quantum computing and whatnot. But like a lot of this, like big tech got kind of beat down in the well, I guess to start this year. Let's see where Amazon. They're all like gapping down pretty much. They do seem a bit overextended on this drop, but at the same time, they're pretty overextended to the upside. So something deeper might be a bit healthier. It's just something to watch. Once tech starts turning and the shorts start pulling out of tech, then that becomes a juicy opportunity to turn things around. I don't think it's going to last like super long, but well, anyways. Do I ever trade the YM? No, I don't trade Dow Jones. I've had some swings on it here and there, but nah. Well, between Nasdaq and the SPOOs, like for me, that's enough. Especially with Nasdaq. I'll put my plan in Discord, but I'm kind of going in like wait and see variety around these auctions without yeah, I do have like general directionality is bearish, but I'm not like gonna go crazy with it. The thing is, if we like open within the next 12 minutes, there's a lot of time, but in the next like 10-12 minutes, if we open below these auctions, it's a real acceptance to the downside, which is the expectation that the bear side is going to continue from the prior auction lows that we've escaped from, which again, bearish, right? Puts downside pressure in these markets. Both of them, like SPOOs and NAS, are pretty close to those pivotal auction low areas, if you will. NASDAQ dropped almost 300 points from the beginning of the news. Pretty significant. The spoos from about 50ish, let's call it, all the way down over 50 handles, right? 60 handles plus to the downside on the spoos. So pretty big reactions from those non-farms. GM, everyone. Yeah, just type some of this shit out. Mm. Du. 9 minutes. GM, everyone that's coming in. Um, Capital preservation Fridays. Smaller size, especially with yesterday closed. Want to be in and out for the day pretty quickly. Thing here. The You can see both these Nasdaq and the spoos. They came into this, I guess, January 2nd massive volume into the lows, held it pretty well. Right now, you're developing a double distribution here on the volume profile, more of a P-shaped profile from the overnight, but you can see a colored volume a double distribution that's being split up right now. The current heaviness of volume into the bottom and the top, where you start leaking it back into the top band. That's what's going to represent the bullishness, but also that barrier represents the continuation of the sell side that's is attempting to come in. And see it a little more clearly, I would say, here on the SPOOs. Where's this pen tool? Where you have like this block and this block, and then it's like it's split up around that 2025 pivot area. So like you start moving into the double distribution to the upside, that opens up a little more of the case for the buyer, but also, right, it's going to be a barrier for that sell side to continue.
Hmm.
So I got time if you got any questions. Kill the next 3 minutes, we can say. This market opens, then we got another multiple minutes of waiting. Why didn't I buy dips overnight? Because I didn't put any limits out and I wasn't really caring about the market too much. It's the only reason. I had no eyes on the computer. Not last night, not this morning, just kind of left it alone. No other reason.
Atlanta has lost its mind.
What's that?
Atlanta has lost its mind.
What's going on in Atlanta?
Snow.
Really? Oh, I saw pictures of Dallas. I didn't know Atlanta was snowing too.
Got about 3 inches out there right now.
That's the most you've ever seen.
In this city, they lose their minds.
Yeah, shut everything down.
Oh yeah. 2 inches of snow and schools close and everything closes. MARTA stops running buses.
It's so
It's,
over.
it's just, there's a run in the grocery stores for milk and bread and eggs. Nobody knows why.
Just in case. Huh. There's a market open. Give it a moment here. Choo, 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 choo. The market's opened up, downside comes in. Immediate. Offer coming in like super aggressive. These shorts are still in it. Pretty heavy offering continues. Just like constant selling, just reoffer, 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 reoffer. Just shy. I don't know what the high was. 197 on NAS. On SPOOs. 21 3/4. I guess technically it was possible to sell right off the open, but that's worked maybe 0% of the time for me. Back into the 05s. I noticed around this like 21 100 on the NAS, there's a lot of negative delta where these guys can offer some kind of immediate support structure. One touch bounces right off this open up and down. They really couldn't care less. A big buyer comes in on the spoos at 03. Just letting it settle or pick some kind of movement. Well, picking some kind of movement, directionality is still so. Into it's not. one touch bid. I don't know. I'm not in anything right now. Obviously, I'm not one to trade within the first like 10-15 minutes, anyways. I'm not gonna lie, I would have liked that like 20-ish and that like 200 plus on the NAS. It's kind of what I've been waiting for here in the morning. Immediate reoffers smacking at every bid pretty much. Yeah, order book is thin. Like I might have to have slightly wider stops, honestly. Like there's what's it called? Uh Kind of a weird jumpy spread here on NAS. Just reloaded some of these charts. Just give me a second as I wait for this thing. Spike up, spike down. In fact, I've learned to check if you've raised your hand after the first few times. I caught you earlier. I caught you earlier today, 6 minutes in only. Okay, my charts have reloaded. Still kind of lagging though. Hey, Fetty, was that you?
Sounded like him. There he is.
Hey, Vic. Hey, Boxy. Morning, everyone.
Okay.
Morning,
Morning,
Tony.
morning.
So what are you
When you
looking
first
for
said
today,
something, it
Vic?
was like super
Eh,
quiet. I was like, did he say
Yeah,
something?
the mic was for so my
Oh,
bad.
fair. Man, I was looking for the bear side, but like the NAS kind of didn't fully come into that area, kind of just like a reoffering like crazy right now. Like SPOOs too. The high of day was like the open on the SPOOs. NASDAQ pretty much same thing actually. Yeah. So here I am, not on the short, not really interested to be a buyer. Huge negative deltas into these lows trying to get broken under. Hmm. New lows. Operation. Thanks for the comment on the stream. I don't know either, man. It's a mystery. Maybe I'm just not likable. This is, it might be one of those annoying days where this offer just like kind of opens the F up like after the first like 4 minutes. Like that's Pretty annoying. You trying to sell Riley's Fetty?
Yeah, I'm looking for the sell side too. Just him book. What were you trying to sell originally?
I
Like
like
what?
the idea around like 200-ish plus on the NASDAQ and like 20, 25 on the SPOOs, but what happens now is like when these guys hold an offer through some of these auction low areas, I guess I'm just gonna have to sell at lower prices. Like if I get a deeper expansion under this 05 on the SPOOs, like fair, but best thing is like when you get it through like big auctions, like unfortunately Nasdaq, it's like you either just sell it here and pretty much prey on both of these, or just wait until this 21K actually breaks lower. Sell side's not done, man. These sellers have a pretty good hold on this shit. That also doesn't mean sell every or any spot. We haven't traded pretty much under these major auctions in a while, and like they could let go pretty aggressively. A lot of people stuck on the SPOO or sorry, Nasdaq at 0.70. Big buyer at this 98 on SPOOs. Boop, 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 boop. Trapped on SPOOs. Like this is it. Do I just like half YOLO throw my shorts in at 05 area and just pray this thing continues its dump, or do I just wait like a normal person? It's capital preservation Friday after all. It's a big buyer again on SPOOs. And a wait, obviously. I'm not trying to just like short every single freaking thing I see. If anything, this is a fadeable opportunity. The accumulation of all this delta everywhere, like I think I'm gonna give it a shot, dude. Let me see here.
Fading or shorting? Shorting?
No, maybe fading this low.
Fading. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. 'Cause, like a lot of shorts, a lot of sell side coming. There's these lows.
I'll put some of these limits around. Okay, well, I don't know if I get filled, but this like 0.75. Oh, why isn't it showing? Here, I put some limits to try and buy this. It's a fade, it's aggressive. It's counter trend. But there's like a pretty big accumulation of traders that are trapped, heavy negative delta. I don't think I'm gonna get filled though. Yeah, I think I waited too long for that. We waited too long for that attempted buy. Just gotta take those off. Let's see here again. They're coming back down to the area where all that negative delta built up. You have like a bunch of people that were stuck down there, pulling back, pretty aggressive on the sell side. Like they're kind of hardcore there. I'll give it a shot. Put these limits out again. Maybe I should have just left them on. Oh my god. Okay, well, clearly I'm not. That was so fast, dude. That was so fast, way too quick for me.
That was you had to kind of leave the limit. It wasn't
Yeah, we're just like market it.
or market in, yeah.
They're creating a higher highs from it, which is cool. Okay, we're back on the weight train. I'm trying to chase or get in the middle of all this bullshit. We're pretty much back to the the sell is like it's pretty freaking strong. I'll give it
I
that.
know. Each sell wave comes very fast and brings price back all the way down to lows. It's like,
Yeah.
should
It's
they
just
do
like
it?
I
Should they?
don't yeah, I don't know. I don't see anyone on these like minor pullbacks for me to be like, okay, let me just like sell it at this area, you know? And keep in mind, I am still bearish on this. It just seems like the levels I want to trade didn't fully come in, and then the information that's coming out of these like lesser areas is not that convincing for me. Wow. 21K, man. Both of these markets are very close to seeing a pretty big slip up here.
Just a quick price action update after the US cash open. Was that initial move that we saw earlier in the session to that NFP report, that is downside in stocks, treasuries, and upside in the dollar, just continue to
Where
hold.
would I
regarding
Where would I put the
in
sell stop through, Mike, or
leg lower, down about
stop order?
1.2%, Nasdaq down about 1.5%, Dow Jones futures down about 90
Where did you do
points.
it?
And then underperformance
That's a better question.
down at 1.9%. For treasuries, they are sold across the curve. Underperformance seen in the short end. And in terms of the FX space, the dollar index, that's currently high at 109.51, off those highs of 109.97. And in terms
for the buy side
of the dollar, does hold gains largely against peers. However, the yen has paired its weakness seen after that NFP report, now back at below that 158 handle, albeit just about. And meanwhile, the CAD has seen choppy trade after that NFP report, up flat on the session. For crude, prices continue to grind higher, up over $3 a barrel on the session, with Brent recently breaching above the $80 handle for the first time since October. And next on the schedule at the top of the hour, we get the first look at UOM figures for January.
Okay, I understand.
The prelim for the headline expected to drop to 73.8 from 74. And in terms of prior figures for conditions, we saw that come in at 75.1. For expectations, last time was 73.3. And in terms of those inflation expectations for the 1 year, that was 2.8%, and for the 5 year, 3%.
Both of these are extremely important areas here. They're trying to hold it. And I know at 0.80-ish area on the NAS, you got this like a massive clustering of negative delta there. Let's see how they react to it. Or they try to sell it earlier. I like to see that 80 area on the NAS to explore some of that kind of order flow based continuation downside. They might do it sooner here the way that they're reacting. Ugh, God damn.
I'll try the 50s. That looks like it's gone.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. Of like 80, that these guys reoffered like 60. They desperately trying to hold on to this 21K. I think it's just a matter of time before they nuke it though.
Yeah, same here.
Hmm. And I don't want to be selling so close to the auction low. So if you got it on this like short earlier on, honestly, well done. I just I couldn't pick my spot. That's what it comes down to, nothing else. Interesting action coming down into these like lows right now. The reoffer continues to persist pretty aggressive.
Under 9 minutes time, at 5 past the hour, we are expecting Fed Scoresby on the CNBC. Of course, attention will be looming on remarks related to the NFP report earlier today. The 2025 voter last spoke in late December, noting employment is stable and wants to keep it stable. To do so, rates need to come down to something like neutral. And that uncertainty on policy is part of why he feels the rate path for next year is a bit more shallow.
Oh, there's freaking rotations down here, man. Nice spring bid. Big buyer tried to come in, but this 50 on NAS start of a pretty big negative delta block. Yeah, maybe I'm being stubborn waiting for this 80 because 50's right there and it's holding. Nice. Let's zoom. Brother, I didn't imagine a one-touch bounce off 0.70 and then this thing just gets nuked. You see this like block? This is what I'm interested in here. This like big negative delta that was holding this kind of support for this pop. I guess I could have been looking at this
For
as part of an
sure,
area
they
to
are
sell
set to
into
explore sale of its core billboard business. That is
but
my
I'd
opinion.
like to see it over here. You know, you got like 0.80 to like maybe 0.95, something like that. Something of the sort. But alas.
Just approaching 1 minute to the top of the hour. Again, looking out for those UOM prelim figures. Headline seen at 73.8, falling from the prior 74.
News as well.
Just commentary from JP Morgan. They do expect the Fed to deliver the next rate cut in June versus the prior forecast of March following the NFP report.
So that or the other day. Anyways.
Ten seconds.
Ah, yes. Confirmed.
That's 73.2. That's below the 73.8 for conditions.
Okay.
They rise to 77.9 expectations. They fall to 70.2.
You gotta be kidding me.
The 1 year rises to 3.3% from the prior 2.8%. For the 5 year, 3.3% up from the prior 3%.
There you go, I guess. Like, fuck. I didn't want to do before news. I didn't want to do it at 0.50.
Below the expected 73.8. And for those inflation expectations, you see a big jump in that 1 year to 3.3% from the prior 2.8%. And for the 5 year, that rose to 3.3% from the prior 3%. And
I can't get on this short.
Downside in the active base, about over 10 points in the E-mini S&P. For treasuries, down about a tick and a half. And this report does come ahead of inflation data next Wednesday. And just further in that report, worth noting that for that Michigan, the 5 to 10 year inflation expectations, they climbed to 3.3%. That's the highest since 2008.
Super annoying. This thing's pretty fucking cooked. We're through the auction lows on both of these. So wait.
Bill came right on news, just like, what am I supposed to do?
Man.
Like, short it before news? Like,
Now it's 120 points lower. Fucking hell.
Just on the geopolitical front, the National Security Advisor Sullivan just talking about North Korea. He says the trend on denuclearization on the Korean Peninsula heading in the wrong direction. US-South Korean alliance remains strong despite domestic political issues. It is a risk that North Korea tries to exploit issues in South Korean domestic politics. On Japan, he says US-Japan ties are at their healthiest in decades, and that will not be disrupted by the Nippon-US Steel decision.
Fumbled this cell right now. I gotta wait, I guess. Just continue fucking selling. God. Around 21K. On NAS. 78 to 80 on the SPOOs. Let's see if we can get there. If they just sell this freaking low, then like it's a disadvantage for me in the way that I trade at this point. If they just like rotate in a 30-40 point range and then continue to offer, like that's not really great for me. It's like pretty much trying to sell a freaking low. I'm not gonna do that.
On the North American trade front, Canadian cabinet ministers set to discuss retaliatory tariffs on the US in a meeting due today, according to the foreign minister.
God, these sellers, man. Why don't they just let them sell from higher prices, huh? Come on.
No, okay. That's not giving pullback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not gonna do it. I don't care though. Like I'm not gonna jump into this low.
I should have, like, if I wanted to sell the low, be closer to that, like, honestly, like 150, 160, like 50, 60 up there. Like at that time, probably,
Yeah.
but right now it's just like, oh man, it just feels too late. So I'm gonna get that pullback.
This is an idiot too. I was so concentrated on 0.80 and I'm like, I could sell 0.50s right now, but I'm not gonna do it.
50 looked good, but then like there was news. It's like, okay, like what am I doing?
And just be aware, the US appears to be announcing new sanctions on Russia. Again, we have had this heavily reported on earlier in the session. So we'll keep an eye out to see any specifics that could be interesting. It also issues
an interesting topic of combo because like what do you think would, or what tilts you more, missing it or getting stopped? Mike says missing it. Justin says missing it. Right? I gotta talk myself into not doing something fucked right now because I really don't like that I'm not on this short.
I hate when I get stopped, then miss it.
This is the worst, the worst possible scenario.
So just for those keeping an eye on the Trump situation, a judge, according to this hearing, says he has decided to sentence Trump to an unconditional discharge over the conviction in the hush money case. As Trump sentenced to an unconditional discharge. Not sure this is going to have much of an effect on markets, but it is a story that many are keeping an eye on at the moment. So there's no jail time or fine as well, but the sentence does place judgment of guilt on the president-elect's record.
Bottom ticks and top ticks. Yeah, that's I guess like it comes down to just like stop and miss is the worst, but like I'm talking about either or. Like I'd personally just rather be wrong at stop than like miss it. Yeah, if you get stopped right before the move, that's both, right? Stop.
Just note the 2025 voter Goolsbee is now beginning his appearance on CNBC.
Goolsbee too. Fuck you know. Well, shit.
Goolsbee on the jobs report, it does give him some confidence that the labour market is stabilising near full employment.
Why do I have this as balance low? That's not true. Neither is this.
And once again, Goolsbee just cautioning about reading too much into one single job report.
What the hell?
chart is filled with these. Cause like I draw like the auction top and bottom, balance low and high, IB low and high on the charts. So usually, yeah, that's probably from before.
It has to be. I don't know why they're all balanced, low balance.
His question is this a sign just of a good holiday season, or is this a sign of a solid consumer going forward? So again, a couple of questions remain on the jobs report from Goolsby.
Get rid of this one like this.
And once again, Goolsby reiterates he doesn't see the labour market as a source of inflation, echoing many other Fed policymakers.
Okay. Now that that's sorted, I can continue.
Does not think the jobs market is overheating.
Okay.
Continue looking for the shorts. Big sellers here getting stuck 894.
I see them. Watch them get destroyed in 0.2 seconds. Morning, Casey. We're all, well, I'm at least just looking at this with my mist fills.
Goolsby was asked about long-term rates rising while the Fed's cutting. He says it's not being fully explained by inflation. Instead, he thinks that it might be an argument that the Fed is going to be cutting more slowly given the economy. He also cites some uncertainty as well.
This slow freaking grind lowered too. The worst market.
We'll be just noting that PCE inflation over the last 6 months has been around about 1.9%.
We're trading at 900, my God. What happened?
Goolsby just making the case that rates should go down if inflation stays stable and the labour market remains stable. So if conditions are stable and there is no uptick in inflation with full employment, rates should go down.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, if everything's perfect,
The speed at which the Fed
it'll be
lowers
good.
rates will depend on incoming conditions. He also says over the next year to year and a half, rates would be a fair bit lower if current expectations are met.
It's a huge block of imbalance here into this low.
Trying to rebid some really big sellers, man. Twice.
Haven't really thought of fading it.
That's good.
Of course, we're just talking about tariffs. He says Fed has to think about issues like tariffs and other nations' responses. He adds that impacts prices.
Waiting out to see where I can get a hold of this thing for the continuation because I've been cut out of these shorts. 21,050. Oh man, that'd be a freaking rally. I'm watching like the negative delta clusters at like the 0.40 area that's coming up here on the NAS. I don't even know if it trades that. The way that these things are going. A lot of volume into this low as well as a lot of imbalance that's prompting this little bid here. It doesn't seem like a very strong bid though. Most like rebids get stifled. It's like a grind higher. It's not like a shot up. Let's see if I can sell this 920. Like,
Gouldsby explaining what appears to be sticky inflation as a factor of base effects given the uptick that we saw early last year. Once again, reiterates that over the last 6 months, PCE inflation has been around about 1.9%, core around 2.2.
oh, what happened? This thing froze now. The way this is going, I might get cut out of this aggressive short. Maybe I should have waited for that 940 like a good little boy. Got in very aggressively into that.
As Gouldsby says, in the interest rate sensitive parts of the economy, you are still seeing the impacts of policy restraint.
Okay, I'm out of this kind of stuff on that. I don't mind trying again if these guys actually reoffer here into this like negative delta cluster, but I gotta be careful because I'm like selling. This thing is rotated pretty low.
The economy is overheating.
And I could be on trying to offer like what's turning into a bid here. So I really don't like missing that initial move. I'm gonna set some of these limits out here. into that 947, 948 on the sell. No. Got a little issue with this like massive negative delta at 940 though. Area is weird. No. Offering is kind of fleeting in this thing.
Yeah, rebids are just
Yeah, fucking hell.
We was just asked about the neutral rate and whether it should be higher in the context of increasing productivity. He suggests that it depends on whether this is permanent increase in productivity or transitory, so he kind of dodges it.
Man, these rebids are coming in like pretty hefty. I'm not a huge fan of this right now. We gotta like hold a stronger offer under 940. These like rotations are still trying to catch bids here.
And with that, the Fed 2025 vote of Goolsbee has concluded his remarks on CNBC. Not too much by way of new information over here, but he does reiterate labor market is stabilizing there, full employment. He was pleased with the jobs data today, but cautioned about reading too much into one report. On inflation, he was heavily noting that over the last 6 months, PCE has been 1.9% below that Fed at 2% target, while core 2.2% just above that. In terms of other areas on rates, he was talking about how if things come in as expected over the next year to year and a half, rates will be a fair bit lower if current expectations are met. Recall when he was speaking earlier in the year, he was talking about how the Fed should be cutting
Neutral as well.
Elsewhere,
I'm late on this short. Like,
of overheating.
I'm on the wrong side of this right now.
And elsewhere, he also just added, in line with other
Not
Fed
my
officials, that
ideal.
the labor market as a source of inflation pressures.
It's not my ideal. The rebids are holding a lot better than the sell side here. I feel like Spoo's traded to like the 85 area. NASDAQ towards that like 0.20. Switching over. Close to the auction top area at 21,000. You know, like the trades that I had, the second one at least was kind of in the middle of things. I'm gonna try this again here. It's probably gonna be my last short though.
Trying it too, man.
Yeah, 994. Rebid. Distasteful. Seeing some reactions, but like it just seems that this the buy side just like way too strong, and like I'm getting in like
Yeah.
right against like these like massive bids. Like someone got stuck, okay, like 300 and like multiple lots into this 210105 area. I got stopped out on the majority of this. Like it's like trying to add back into this. Like that stop was nasty. I think they're a little tired here. But then again, you know how David Goggins buyers come in. They're not that tired. All right,
Yeah.
I'll take the stops on this. Like, I think I'm done on this. Probably at my max risk for the day. This like rebid came in completely flipped it. I was still looking at this from the perspective of like the short. And that was not correct. And the buyer came in and blew me out of some positions. Big buyers coming in now, trading a lot higher. Not my ideal Friday move.
Again, folks, we are just seeing further headlines here talking about these US sanctions.
It's the first main short. Got a little cut up on the way back up.
Too much that you wouldn't expect, but we'll go through some of them over here. Officials expects new sanctions will cost Russia upwards of billions of dollars per month. And as was hinted in some of the earlier reporting, it's also targeting dozens of traders and Russia-based oil field services and Russia energy officials.
I'm okay with
And the
that.
official
Generally, with
from
three
the US said
stops,
Russia
like
will make every effort to
I'm not doing
circumvent
it
the
right.
sanctions, but doing so will pile costs onto Russia. So just in terms of the other details, they are largely in line with what we heard in the source reporting earlier from Reuters. Likes of Gazprom Neft and Soviet Neft have been targeted. And looks like the UK is coming along with similar measures against Russia at the moment as well.
Yeah, so ran me right over.
You want to throw up the early exit?
Yeah, sure. Back within that balance.
And for CVX, Chevron, Washington continues to monitor events in Venezuela. US officials have responded to a question about licensing for Chevron and other oil producers operating there.
People getting trapped on the short into these 0.10s now. It's just like, obviously, as I was getting run over, these guys are like re-offering temporarily, and then they just like hold a crazy bid.
Oh, they came into this low 894, and like there were signs they were
Yeah,
rebidding some pretty big like sellers, you know. So like I guess like kind of the fade made sense. But what's surprising is like that rally pretty much erased the whole morning bearish sentiment. Which like I wasn't expecting. I was expecting some kind of like stall out and a continuation on the sell side. Yeah, that's part of the game, honestly. But like right now, it's just like I have to set out because I don't know. Like I'm not seeing any like really good area to short, and I'm not seeing the flow to short either. And it feels like buy side still early, like to try to be buying dips. So it's like wonky day. As you said, like
it is.
missing the initial move of the open,
Yeah, that was triggering.
that changed the outcome of so many things. Because like if you got on early, like when that bearish sentiment was still going on, it's like would have been different from like trying to get on the shorts late now. I'm okay with the shorts that I took, honestly, nothing wrong with them. It's just like right now, it's like what to do. sit out. That's the way I see it. Mm.
They come back to that 0.50 and start kind of failing there.
Yeah.
Someone was saying
Another
that
US
we're
bank
probably going to retest the
Oh,
0.50.
yeah,
Wells
I
Fargo
remember
says
hearing that
up
too.
Fed
Yeah.
in March looks
It's like, if
increasingly
it was like hello for rally, that would be hello
Yeah,
hello
it
for
indeed
rally indeed.
was.
Yeah. Big buyer now on that stick here.
Send it back to high of day at this point. Like, yeah, insane rally here, just completely flipped on this. At this point, I know, like, I think out of all those three shorts, just one of them was a little unwarranted. I don't mind the other two though. Now you get to 0.80 area. Let's see, he's gonna blow through this. Is tech starting to rocket? Yeah, I'm gonna turn around quick here. Really don't like ending Fridays red, but it's life sometimes. It was a good week. Still is, but I got too eager on that short. I should have looked at the order flow a bit more, like re-offer, rebid instantaneously. Here comes negative delta at the 0.80. Screws back into that 85 area.
And next up on the sell side front, Bank of America no longer expects more Fed rate cuts. Bank of America does not expect further rate cuts.
Well, that's a big statement. $0.80, finally holding out a bit. Yeah, I think that was like an okay area here. These like offers, seeing if they want to hold out a bit more. Do for some kind of pullback. How deep is this pullback? That's a very good question, though. SPOO's got a little trapped around that 86 as well. But like the momentum is still very bullish. We've accepted back above this auction on NASDAQ. SPOOs are in a spot where it'd be interesting to see how these guys hold up on the bid.
And White House just commenting on Russia's sanctions. It does not believe Russia's sanctions will have a significant impact on global oil markets.
Take what I said back before. I think getting stopped out and being read is worse than missing the move. in the moment, missing it seems worse, but
Oh my god, that's funny.
it's a part of the game. Listen. Honestly, impeccable buying is going on here.
No. Follow on reversal. Just like that.
Just a bit more commentary from this Bank of America call on the Fed. We think cutting cycle is over. Our base case has the Fed on an extended hold, but Bank of America thinks risks for the next move are skewed towards a hike.
A hike? Oh, Bank of America is crazy for that one. I don't mind taking this loss. It's just good to keep within your risk management. This is pretty much all I want to risk for the day. Anything above that is probably a little more negligent. Realistically, that's how people just blow out, go on tilt. Fridays aren't going to make your week, but they can break them. You seeing what I'm seeing? These imbalances into these highs.
Another short. Okay.
Come back to all these imbalances through the 21K, then we can see what goes on there. Justin, where'd you get the short from? So how'd you have pretty nice long from at 0.50?
Nice.
66. On NAS, I assume.
Now the sell side comes up. Beautiful.
Kind of aggressively here too.
Mm.
Yeah, decent amount of heat on that short. Would it panned out now? Let's see. There was a lot of buy imbalances and big buying at this like 21K or so. Let's see how they actually hold it. That could be an opportunity here. They blow right through it. This stupid buy side that came in was just one nasty big buy stop run. So far, reoffer slapping spoos back under 80. Okay, instantaneous bid, no imbalance. That's fantastic work for these guys. They're holding the area for now, though. Nah, come on, dude. One touch movement. I don't think it's over just yet, though.
What are you thinking? Longs?
Yeah, I'm thinking to see if these guys want to get like super imbalanced into this area, see if you're gonna hold out the continued acceptance back above this 21K on the NAS. Spoo's kind of look like shit though. No buyers. This freaking fake bid just beat my ass for no reason. I'm not seeing that many imbalances trying to hold this buy side. This is what's like not really keeping me on trying
More
to
commentary now
sniff
from
the one.
Citigroup. They do see the next Fed rate cut in May, as it previously was January.
Bank of America sees hikes. These guys see cuts. I feel like it's a ploy. Heavy solar, heavy solar. I think they just swing it back down, honestly. These buyers look like they had their fun. Watching watching how the flow's building out. There's an interesting area at like 0.10, 0.15 on this nose. See a continued move. And becoming The sell side's villainous, man. I didn't take any of this. I didn't want to jump into anything. I feel like I've just accepted it today. There's difficulty in today's session. Here.
Of note for Delta Airlines executive says, have seen a decline in sales due to the
So-
Los Angeles wildfires.
Yes,
We'll
exactly.
not see a significant impact though from the wildfires, however. Further from the White House on the Middle East, they think the deal for the ceasefire and hostage release in Gaza is possible, but not without a lot of hard work ahead.
in a rotationary area here where some of these buyers are not trying to give up the full move lower. Emphasis on trying. Attempted bid gets smacked down pretty
Israeli
good.
military, they say the earlier strike on southern Lebanon targeted weapons in a vehicle used by
ES is looking pretty bad too. Big trap seller. Or not big trap seller, but big seller into NASDAQ lows. Currently 944 area. Now more so trapped. These are incremental rotations lower, which is not a bullish sign here.
Further from Bank of America, analysts at Bank of America rules out US 25% tariffs on Mexico in the short term.
Bank of America making some bold statements.
Further from the White House, they do know that Hamas
I know, right?
ceasefire.
For real, man. That's wild.
I'm gonna do a pull here. I think I'm gonna call it this Friday. Just take my L, honestly. It wasn't the best of situations overall. Like I tried to get on that short, but just like couldn't. And then I tried it as it was like rebidding continuously. And I tapped out, as you can see here. Like I'm not on this short. I just kind of taken my pretty much max drawdown on the day. I'm okay with that because week was fine. So it's okay, nothing crazy. Trying to hold true to capital preservation Friday without going insane about it. So let's see how the day ends up shaping up. But like right now, this bear side's still trying to hold out. Like they're still reoffering lows, people getting jammed up, like reoffers are still holding out. So I'll do it again next Friday.
Okay.
And defending 560 like it's their freaking job.
TRADEPRO Academy, closing this poll out. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Like for Deutsche Bank, if you plan about a 10% raise in investment bank bonuses, that is via Bloomberg.
Well, for day, I'm down 2. Took 3 shorts and they couldn't get on. Was just careful not to overdo it, honestly, when I noticed that I was getting the short late. So that was a big thing for me. Other than that, like, honestly, I'm okay with that result. So I was gonna try the short, like, side of the open, like, really, that was kind of my plan. Stayed on the short side. The full reversal that we seen on the buy side was just, kind of, I wouldn't say caught me off guard because there were signs that they were getting rebid, like on some pretty big sellers, especially towards these lows around 894. But regardless, like, still, I'm kind of okay with that results, honestly. It's just wonky market and it's tougher to trade, that's all. Let me just put those on. You wanna do a wrap-up, Boxy?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
So all markets moved down. We went sideways and then up, put in a Globex high of 77.86 about 9:30. And then after that, it's just moved to the downside. We've pushed through the open, we've pushed through the VWAP. Strong trend on the downside, lower lows, lower highs. So short side's the right side at the moment. Whatever you do, monitor your risk, trade like a trade pro, and preserve that capital. Gentlemen, thanks for another great day, another great week. I hope that you guys and all of TRADEPRO Academy has a great rest of today and a great weekend. And we'll see everybody on Monday. Ciao.
Thank you, Boxy. Appreciate you, sir. 50% on the life positive. Oh, so good. But regardless, part of the game, like those days happen, and today was an easy market, honestly, by any stretch. Like one big move down, one big move up, and then another big move down, and it's just like it almost feels like there's no structure. So yeah, like I don't think I'm gonna have any more trades. However, I do like to look for the longs towards these lows if you're still trading. Like again, like around the 890, they held the low. So if they are to hold a higher low here, like I think like 910, 920 is a good area to try that long if it sets up with order flow. And that kind of will be like my last idea on the day. If they open up the sell side one more wave, like below the 880 low, then, maybe look for another pullback. So I would watch price action towards these lows between 910 and 920, looking for a long. And if it opens up the sell side and you still have more firepower, look for a retrace to get short into. And yeah, leave you guys with that. And Victorio, back to you, brother.
Yeah, like it's like we were looking for the short earlier on. I couldn't get on, which I think just kind of sat in the back of my mind. And then I took my 3 shots, I got taken out. Like Fatty said, I'm not really looking to play this too much. I think there is a potential move here. Structurally, they're not holding like extremely well, I would say, right now. But like sell side's still trying to open up here. Like I'm watching this, seeing where the sellers can come into prices. I think in the middle of these areas under like 2100, you've got like too many midpoints that aren't super attractive to me currently. So I'll see how this kind of shapes up. But if we do make a higher low, it can be around that like 910 area that like Fetty was talking about. But I think I'm going to take a little break here and see what's going on, because I'm just going to call it like max drawdown on the day realistically.
Awesome. Thank you guys, and we'll do it again on Monday.